Okay, there are a couple of books for this course. One of them you must purchase. It is Sticks and Stones and Other Student Essays. It's the 8th edition. This is a view of the cover here. That should be available in the bookstores. You should be able to get that used. If you get older editions, it may not have all of the required readings and the page numbers might not match up. The second book required for the course is Practical Analytic Writing. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about this. This is not published currently as this video is recorded. It is made available to you free as an ebook. So you'll have to navigate it as an ebook, but you don't have to pay for it. And there are 7 different parts, 7 different readings, 7 different quizzes. They're going to be repeated each time there's a reading from this book. So the first reading from this book and corresponding quiz is during the first week, Thursday at 3 o'clock. So you will see Practical Analytic Writing. We've already downloaded this. You can see this in the inline viewer. There's a password. The password is critical. The password to open the book. Also, you should download this for maximum flexibility. You cannot have this open and a quiz at the same time, but you should complete the reading before you take a quiz and have this book available to you while you take the quizzes to help you do well on them. So I'm going to download that book. I'm going to get it out of the Pilot inline viewer. It's going to ask you for the password again. Password is critical. To navigate this book, all the parts within it are live if you click on them. Most things are 1 page, some things are 2 pages, most things are very short. 3 might be the longest stretch that you'll have for any particular section. So if I want to just read all of part 1, if I click on part 1, it's going to take me directly to that. Now if I ever want to get back to the home to look at the top, that live menu to look at a particular part in the book, I can hold the control key and the home key and it'll take me right back to the beginning. And you'll see that here, control home key. Or you can type 1 up at the top in order to get back to the very top. So you might have to, there's a little bit of navigation required. If I want to review, for example, how to handle titles while I'm writing a summary, that'll take me directly to there. And if I wanted to say, well, now I want to review something else in that particular chapter, the easiest way is probably to go back to the top and, for example, how to handle verb choice. So you might have to do some navigation back and forth. The control home key, if you're clicked in the PDF, should take you to the top. It requires a little bit more navigation once we get deeper into the book. So for example, if you do control home, you're going to go back and you're going to have to scroll back down to something in part 4, for example. Right. Well, so the payoff is that this book is free. You might have to do a little bit of navigation to get through it, but it won't cost you anything. I've got it downloaded off-site so they can have that available at the same time as they might be doing something like completing a quiz in Pilot. So use that while you're taking the quizzes. Lectures you can watch inline. This is a good thing to do in the inline viewer. So for example, I'm in Thursday, 3 o'clock for the first week. This is a lecture for a different course, but these will be fully loaded with the lecture from your course, and you can watch them right in the inline viewer. Again, when I'm done, instead of using the back button, if I'm in week 1 working through the Thursday requirements, my best way to get back is to go Thursday, 3 o'clock, and then proceed to the next item, which would be the discussion posting. Some lectures will have preps required before you view them. Here's an example in week 2. I'm going to go to week 2. And here's an example in week 1. I'm going to go to week 1. I'm going to go to Thursday. There's a prep for lecture 2 required before you watch lecture 2. Click on that to open it in the inline viewer. You may see instructions and also a separate document to open. This will give you instructions about how to complete what's required before you watch that lecture. And this is due turned in for a grade in the Dropbox. You don't have to go to assessment in Dropbox. You can go directly here and unload your completed work straight to the Dropbox. So you can do everything that you need right here. Get the instructions, download the attachment, complete it, and then upload it. Then I can go back to Thursday, 3 o'clock. There's the prep for lecture 2, and I can proceed to watch lecture 2. Quizzes you can also access directly in line from the Thursday or the Monday blocks. You don't need to go up to the Assessment and Quizzes tab. So when it's time to take quiz 1, you can simply click right here. Most of them have open dates so that you can complete them early if you want, and most of them have 120 minutes, 2 hours for you to complete that. There are 2 different types of discussions for this course. One of them is simply to go to a discussion area and make a posting. Here's an example in week 1 on Thursday. The directions are at the top. It tells you to make a post, a couple of parameters about that. You can click start a new thread and complete that. You can go back and later, you should go back later and read what others have been posting so you can view that discussion. But you're graded your completion of a posting. That's the first type, where you make a posting and then you can go back and see what others have done. There is a second type. Let me demonstrate that to you. It starts in week 4. There's an example on Thursday. This is a 2-part. It actually starts on Monday. So the first part is to make a posting. And this asks you to do a draft of a part of an essay. It asks you to write a couple of paragraphs. Go to the discussion, which you're going to see right here. I'm working straight through the Monday. I'm working right down the Monday 3 o'clock. Instructions here. Write a couple paragraphs. Those instructions are repeated right here. I can start a new thread, make my posting. This is due on Monday at 3 o'clock. You can see that's where I'm working. That same week, Thursday at 3 o'clock, I'm going to go back to the same discussion board and make some comments. There's part 2, and it tells me how to comment not on what I've done, but what others have posted. So by Monday at 3 o'clock, everyone in the class should be posting something. By Thursday at 3 o'clock, everyone should be going back to the same discussion, completing part 2, and making comments on what others have posted. There are 2 major writing assignments for this course. The first one you'll see in week 2 on Thursday. It is an ad analysis assignment. This is a good document to download and keep offsite someplace else for easy reference so that you know where it is and you don't have to go back and find it. This has detailed instructions and a rubric about how it's going to be graded. You should refer to this assignment, this sheet more than once as you're completing the ad analysis assignment. There's also a sample graded assignment, another sample graded assignment that's an A. There's a proposal assignment that is due. This is important. You'll see this coming up in the days to follow, that you'll have to turn in a proposal. This is the assignment sheet for that. This is also a good file to save someplace else so that you are looking at that when you make and write and turn in your proposal, and make sure you're doing that according to what's assigned. Here's a sample proposal, and here's another sample proposal. So these are all documents that you should refer back to. This is week 1 Thursday for the first major writing assignment, the ad analysis essay. Okay, week 7 Thursday, the second major writing assignment appears in week 7 in the Thursday block. You see at the top reading, analysis and response essay and rubric. This is a good file to save somewhere else. So you can look at it and reference it as you're working on the assignment. There are several parts. There are some specific assigned types of analysis and specific parameters for response and research. All of that is described in detail here. You'll see that week 7 on Thursday, and you'll see a sample, more samples later, but you'll see a sample of that particular assignment. Those are the 2 major writing assignments for the course. Okay, in addition, you might get weekly or regular emails from your instructor. Make sure that you read your WSU email regularly. If you know that you're going to have an email from your instructor, look at your WSU email or have that forwarded to another account so that you can make sure that you've got contact from your instructor. But you should be using your WSU email.